I want to go back now to the executive order that President Trump signed today regarding the rescheduling of marijuana. And joining me now to discuss this is Congressman Barry Loudermilk, who is one of more than 24 Republican lawmakers who signed that letter that was mentioned a while ago, urging the president to keep marijuana a Schedule I drug. He represents the 11th Congressional District of my home state of Georgia. Congressman Loudermilk, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Jody, it's good to be with you. It's good to see you again, my friend. And Merry Christmas.
All right. Well, let's Merry Christmas to you as well and your wonderful family. Let's start with this executive order. What was your reaction to it?
Well, I was a little bit shocked that it was coming that quickly. And what we were asking the president to do is just hold on just for a little longer, because I think we need more time to look into this. Look, there's numerous medical studies out there. If you want to support legalization of marijuana, you're going to find something that supports your side of the argument. If you're against it, you're going to find plenty of data to support your side of the argument. But there's some things that we really have to look at, and I think Congress needs to spend more time researching several impacts. What is it going to do? How's it's going to have an effect on the cartels, right? What kind of effect is it going to have on the economic base? Other aspects that are cultural in nature that we need to look at. But one of the things I think a lot of people don't understand, when and I'm assuming you're around the same age I am, but growing up and being in high school in the 70s and early 80s, it was marijuana was pretty common among a lot of people, and I never used it, but I knew a lot of people who did. But from talking to people today, the marijuana of our days, the recreational drug, is a whole lot different than what we have today. The levels of THC is extremely high, much higher than it ever was before. The marijuana is cultured and grown to actually maximize its potency. And while there's some that'll say there's some medical use to it, but there's other policy issues we have to look at. For instance, in the Veterans Administration, my understanding is that they will not provide any surgery for a veteran that has been taking some type of drug for several weeks. And so there's a lot of issues, I think, that still need to be looked at.
So one of the issues, Congressman Loudermilk, that we've been talking about here on Washington Watch over the past few days, there seems to be a disconnect, quite frankly. When we look right now, in particular, at the actions that the Trump administration is taking against the narco-terrorists in the Caribbean, the disconnect here to be loosening the restrictions on marijuana just seems, as Tony himself said, it's like ordering milk and then blowing up the milk truck. Is there kind of a disconnect going on here?
Well, that's what we need to look into. If we're winning the war on drugs right now, which at least it looks like we're having a huge impact on the cartels that are bringing in fentanyl and cocaine into the country, is this just going to give them an avenue to shift away from bringing illegal narcotics into the United States to then importing a legalized drug? Does this also impact the response that we can have to those that are bringing narcotics into this country? So that's kind of where I was coming from with this, is that we need more time to look at the broader impact that it has on families, but that it has on law enforcement, that it has on our war on drugs here in the United States, and have a more systematic approach to where, if we need to do this, or that's something that the administration decides to do, that we can put procedures in place and we can be ready for the impact.
Well, final question. We've got less than a minute, so not a whole lot of time here to elaborate. But the White House has maintained that the executive order today does not legalize recreational marijuana use, nor does it pave the way for recreational marijuana use. Is that accurate? What's your take on that?
Well, I'm not an expert in this field, and there's plenty of our friends that serve on Energy and Commerce Committee that could probably answer that better. But I don't know that we have a clear definition because it has always been a scheduled drug. I don't know that there is a legal definition between what is recreational use versus medical use versus illegal use. And so that's another area I think that needed to be clarified. But, the president, we disagree on certain policies for the most part. I think he's doing a tremendous job in that position, but this happens to be one of those areas that we disagree on. I understand why he's doing what he's doing. I just don't agree with it at this moment.
Congressman Barry Loudermilk from Georgia, thank you so much for joining us. And again, Merry Christmas to you and your dear family.